All right, let's add some validation and input masks so that this will stop any standard errors that might pop up. So go back to your design view, and we're going to be jumping between the form and the table and applying validation rules and input masks between the two. Firstly, don't worry too much about these green little error message thingies here. They're suggesting that these labels aren't associated with anything, but we've just got these labels on here as user help, so don't stress about that. What we are going to do is once you click on one of our spots where the user will actually enter data, you double click it, and it'll come up with a property sheet. This is where we add in our validation rules and all that kind of thing. So to start with, go to last name, and we want to make sure that that is just going to be letters. So there is an input mask that will allow that. If we just do the question mark, like so, every time there's a question mark, that means they can type in a letter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 of those, which means they can type in 5 letters for their name. Obviously, that's pretty short, so we might copy that, paste it. That's 10, 15, 20. 20 letters is usually long enough for a last name. So we might highlight that and copy it because we're probably going to need that for our first name as well. So get a first name, same deal, paste that in your input mask. So we're only allowing the user to type in letters. If they were to type in a number, there'll be an error message that will pop up saying you can't do that. All right, birthday, birth month, and birth year. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky. If you click on birthday, what we want to do here is create a drop-down box. All right, to create a drop-down list, what we actually have to do is change these forms here. So at the moment, these are text forms. If we click on one, then right-click it and say change to, we're going to turn it into what's called a combo box. And from here, go up to your property sheet, go to data, and what we want to do is row source type. We don't want table or query. What we want is value list. And now we can just type in what we want. So row source, it's going to be the day. So it's going to be 1 to 31. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I'm going to fast forward. Okay, we've entered all the values that it could possibly be. I put commas in, but it automatically changed them to semicolons, which is the correct way to space out all of your values. And now if you want, we can have a look at that. So if we go to view form, you can see here we can choose when we were born. Isn't that great? Go back to design view. Go to birth month. And we're going to do the same kind of thing. Change, firstly right click on it, go to change to, make it a combo box. And now we're going to change row source type to value list, and we're going to change this to from values to 1 to 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Easy done. Now they can select their month. Then next we have birth year. This one's probably not going to be as fun to have a drop-down box that scrolls for like 3 pages. So instead we're going to get the user to type it in. So we're going to keep it as a short text, and then we're going to go here to validation rule, and we're going to have a look at our validation rule that we made previously, which is we're going to only allow people to type in a number between 1900 and 2012. So highlight that, copy that rule, and then we're going to go back to the ski high one. Where are we? So validation rule, press paste, and there we go. That rule will only allow them to type in between those 2 parameters. Next up, we have ski or board. This is going to be a drop-down list as well. So if you go to same deal, right-click on it, go to change to, go to combo box, and then we're just going to have 2 values. So value list again, and we're going to write down ski, snow, board. So there are 2 things they can pick. We're going to go to skill level, and we're going to change that also to a drop down, because we're only going to have the 3 standard ones that are at ski shops generally, which is there's usually beginner, intermediate, and advanced. It's usually all they ever ask. All right, and then we got our prices here. So we're going to go with the rules that we made previously. It might be worth taking up half the screen again. Half and half. There we go. and then we can see our rules here. So if we go here to scale board cost, kind of hard to see there now. Validation rule, there it is. So we're going to highlight that, copy the greater than or equal to 75, being the scale board price, make that the validation rule, paste it in, go to the jacket, same deal. Probably worth just pasting the existing one and then just changing the number to 35. We know that the next one's going to be that, so we'll copy that. And there we go. We have entered in all of our rules to stop any craziness. All right, close your form. Jump back to your customer table. We're going to just make this customer ID number work. So if we go back here to design view, and then auto number, go here to format, paste in your CU00, which you would have gotten from here. And now if you go back to the datasheet view, save it, you'll notice CU00 is working there, and then the 1 afterwards. And if we open up the customer form, you won't see the CU00, but it'll be there when it gets input into the table. Anyway, lastly, we need to add some navigation and also change the currency symbols here. Okay, so pretty simple. Just go back to design view, click on the spot where the number's going, just double click it. And if you go to all, you'll see format and just change that to currency. And then the same for the next one, and so on and so forth. All right, once you've changed all that to currency, I'm just going to check that out in form view. There we go, we've got our money in there. Go back to our table view, and obviously the formatting hasn't been set up on our table. That's pretty easy to do. If you go back to design view, it's going to say this. We have to say no, close your form, save and close, go back to your table, change back to your design view, and obviously you need to make sure that these are all set to currency as well. So same way, format, currency. I'm going to fast forward as this can get a bit tedious. Sweet, go back to your datasheet view. It'll ask you to save, say yes, and now you'll have all your correct currency and all that. Go back to your, so you can save that and close it, jump back to your form. Now we just need like navigation and some other pretty features. So first we need to have like buttons to allow them to save the details and like to go next and previous. You can use this little control down here, but we want to make it so that it has like navigation on screen. So if you go down to the design view again, and then choose this one here. This one is the button option. So hit create, and then you're just going to drag the size of your button. And what we want to do is go down to record operations and then save record. Go to next and then change it to text, and we're going to call it save customer details. And hit next. We call it save customer. So this is what we're going to like name it. The user won't see that. Press finish. There it is there, save customer details. I'm going to make it so that it fits perfectly in these little boxes because I'm OCD. Not really. Save customer details. We're going to make, so you pretty much type in all your stuff and then hit save and it'll update it onto the database. We're going to make another button here and we're going to just do the same thing. And this one's going to be go to next record, which is this one here. Press next. So next customer. We're going to call this one next customer. Obviously, make that a little bit bigger. And we're going to do the same thing, make one more button. And that's going to go to the previous. Going all right, previous customer. Press next, previous customer, and say finish. Let's just resize our previous customer button so that it fits. And I'm just going to move that over a little bit. All right, these are all pretty big. We probably don't need this much space. unless we want to add some user instructions here. So we might do that actually if we copy this one, paste that one, and just drag it up. So we're just going to make this smaller and delete all this. And we're going to write enter your last name. We'll make that take up that much space so that it's all consistent. Copy paste. Obviously this one is going to say enter your first name. Even just highlight that to be grayed out. So if we click on that, then go to format and then choose gray. That way they will know they don't need to select that. Cool, we're just going to move these buttons over. We might shove a bit of a background image on this just to make it look a bit prettier. So you'll notice in the design there's insert image if you want to insert like a picture of something. But if you go back to format and just go background image browse and pick, that'll probably fit a little bit better. Now we hit save customer details. If we have just a quick look at that. Additionally, if we don't want our user to be able to type into this field here, we've grayed it out. But if we were to double click that and then see where it says locked, just hit yes. And now if we view that in form view, the user shouldn't be able to type into that field. Cool. Thanks for watching this tut, and we are done. Move on to the next one.